Looking for a new JRPG on the PlayStation 4? Well, maybe this one will be good for you. Nerd Theory. Okay, so what we're reviewing today is Ys VIII. Ys 8. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. So anyway, this game is published by NIS America, which, by the way, I do have to kind of put a disclaimer out there that I did get this copy of this game for review from NIS because, you know, FTC and shit. So the premise of Ys 8 is basically you start off as an adventurer named Adol Christensen to be exact, and you're on this boat and you're going somewhere. I can't honestly remember where you're going, but you're going by this island. At the very beginning of the game, they like to tell you that, ooh, this island's cursed. Anybody who's been there has never come back, blah, 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 blah. Well, of course, because as it so happens, there's a huge kraken that comes up, its tentacles come up, crush the ship, and you're washed ashore on this weird island. As you explore the island, you find other passengers of the ship that you saw before, and you start building this community down the southern part of the island. Now, that's one of the major parts about this game, at least the first third of it, is that you are constantly going different places to find new people to bring back to your little village area, and by doing that, you got people who can craft weapons, you have people that can make medicine, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of cool how everything kind of comes in like that. It just doesn't magically happen. You don't magically have people that can just sell you armor. Now, as the game progresses, you're basically going out there to find materials to help your community and for weapons and such. But along the way, you encounter lots of different monsters, and there's kind of a side story element. Not really a side story, it is the main story, where you're having dreams about this kind of figurehead that apparently was very prominent on this island way back in the past, but the island now is very deserted. So it kind of has like a Final Fantasy VIII feel to it. There's a couple different stories going on at the same time. When doing that, they start to realize that they're dreaming about one another, or they're having visions about one another, Adol, and then this other, this kind of goddess character from the island named Donna. Now, I say Donna, and I know in the title it looks like it says Dana. It's not. It's Donna. They pronounce it Donna in the game. So once they realize that they can kind of sense each other, the Donna character from the past, kind of in the middle of the game, she starts doing things to help them in the future, whether it's planting a certain tree or something like that. So about a little around halfway through the game, they start realizing each other's existence, and then the adventure goes on from there. But the big question is, what happened to this island? What happened to this town or this city on this island? Now, I should put out there that this game was actually on the PlayStation Vita in Japan about a little over a year ago, and it's coming over now to the PS4. And you can kind of tell by looking at it, but going by the screenshot that I'm going to show you right now, they did a lot of work to brighten it up and add things to it. So in that respect, I can't really complain too much because it's actually a pretty good looking game overall. It's very colorful. Now, one of the frustrating things about this game is about the first third of it. I'm going to say probably about the maybe first 8 to 10 hours of this game, there's a lot of backtracking. You're going from the camp, going to one place to find something or to find another survivor, and then you're bringing them back, kind of coaching them about what's going on and hear their little story. Then you're going back out to find another one, and you're kind of just going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And there are fast travel points, but they're kind of few and far between, and most of them don't land anywhere near where you want to be. Another thing is that you'll come across certain obstacles that tells you that you need X amount of people to move this obstacle. But the problem with that is that you actually have to go find those people, so you can't do anything in that area until you find enough people to clear it and then to explore it. And another part too is that it really doesn't get into the meat of the story until about, I'm going to say about 12 or 15 hours in. And I don't want to say that I'm not going to tell you that it's worth it to wait that long. I don't want to do like the Final Fantasy 13 thing where people are like, oh, but it picks up after 30 hours. I don't believe in that. It should pick you up from the beginning. Now, if you don't mind doing backtracking and level grinding, because that's essentially what you're going to be doing inadvertently anyway, then you won't have a problem with this game. One of the things to this game is, if you want to be a completionist, is to discover every single facet that's on this island. And this island is very, very big. It's not just like a couple places and then you found everything. When I was almost done with the game, I discovered maybe 50 some odd % of the island. And the whole point of that is to keep you coming back. The game itself is going to be about 30 hours. If you want to, like, be a completionist and find every single thing that you can do and get all the trophies on the PlayStation 4, it's probably going to take you close to 70, but that depends on your difficulty level that you choose. As far as the characters in this setting, it's usual, very anime type tropes. You got the adventurer with the red hair, and then you have the attractive girl that you find that's kind of a romantic interest, but you accidentally walk in her naked, because anime and stuff. And then you kind of have the sidekick, he's very, has a big heart, but kind of dopey at the same time. And then you have the guy that's very aloof, doesn't really want to have anything to do with you, but he's joining you because you're just convenient and you're going the same way as he is, quote unquote. You have those type of typical anime tropes, and there's nothing wrong with that if you enjoy that type of game. The dialogue here or there is kind of whatever, but it's actually a very interesting story in the grand scheme of things. Another thing that you'll find is that going along the way, you'll find these items that actually help you traverse the world a little bit more. You'll come across these areas where there's vines that you can climb, but you don't have a special glove to be able to climb them yet, or a pair of boots that help you walk in the mud. If you try walking in the mud without these boots, then you're not going to go anywhere. So you have to come across these items first before you can actually go back and try to discover more of the map. And that's a lot where that backtracking gets involved with again. What I actually really dug about this game, even though it does take a little while to get into it, I didn't personally mind backtracking and leveling up. There were some areas where I got frustrated. I'm like, oh, well, I can go this way, or I can go this way. Now, you can set an icon on the map to tell you where you're going, but it's not like a full trail. It's just a little arrow on the compass thing on the map pointing you in a general direction. But there could be a couple areas that take you in that same direction, but you have to pick one, and it's kind of, an elimination game at that point. What I really dug about the story, though, going back to that, is that it's not afraid to deal with death. There's a lot of these games that it kind of just, everybody that's involved, is fine at the end. Of course, there's exceptions like Final Fantasy 7, 15, and other games. But this one, it's not afraid to take away one of the characters, for another character to grow. And I know that's probably stereotypical in a way, but I actually like that. It wasn't afraid to make that choice to do it. And for that, I respect the game. In terms of the combat, it's pretty standard. You got your jump and you have your regular attack. You can actually set skill attacks with the right one button and one of the other 4 buttons, smashing them together. And then there's a special attack when your gauge fills up and you can just go to town. Now, unfortunately, though, a lot of these with the skill ones, I didn't see a huge difference with a lot of them personally, but that's just me. So if you're a button masher, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. Obviously equip them, but if you're just button mashing, you just want to get through it, and you're not trying to be, kind of an auteur about how you defeat your enemy, then you're probably not going to think much of it. And of course, you have your accessories, you have your armor, you have your weapons, you can upgrade, so on and so forth. So while Ys VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana isn't the greatest action JRPG that there is in the world, in my opinion, it was entertaining enough to keep on going, especially if you have that itch for a new action RPG on the PlayStation 4. There's nothing wrong with this game at all. Not the most perfect game in the world, but definitely not... It's not bad at all. They went back and they updated it. They added stuff. The colors are very vibrant. For me, it was still a good time. It just wasn't the best time I ever had. So for that, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. But that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean squat. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you didn't. What do you recommend as a good action RPG on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, if there is such a thing? Let me know. Please subscribe to Nerd Theory. Every little bit helps. And please like this video. That helps as well. And keep on being entertained as long as it's legal.